The barbershop has always been, as they said, Cedric the Entertainer said in the movie, the black man's social club. And in barbershops, men talk a number of conversations. And then once upon a time, the barbershop was able to be that way because it was mostly men in there. And what we find out that most of these black men, like the young men we work with, have failed relationships in their lives. And even though they may have been 40, 50, and 60 years old, they had still issues from their teenage years that they never closed the door on or never got assistance on, and they put it away. And from there, you see the acting out, the walking away from families, the domestic violence at times. When it comes to healing, we can't heal others till we heal self.
All right, here we are, another episode. Let's see how it works out. We're here at Omar Beauty Bar. We're gonna go up in here and see what's going on, and hopefully we get some good dialogue, all right? And then guess what else? We got a special guest on Barbershop Talk today. Let's see who's with us.
Shalom, family. Officer Reb, IUIC, Kansas City.
Hey, he came all the way down from Kansas to the Great Northwest. That's right, I said it, the Great Northwest.
Yes, sir.
Hey, so we about to go up in here. Lord's will, we need some good footage y'all can check out, all right? Hey, shalom. Sign Christ blessed. Hey, we got another edition of Barbershop Talk. Today we're in Tacoma, Washington at Tacoma Stars. All right, we're about to go in, see what the conversation's like and see what we can show the people that they didn't realize is in the Bible. All right, stay tuned. So you don't believe in all was slavery?
No.
Oh, wow.
Because it's his story.
And I do get that. So, okay, so you're saying some parts of it that they told us is not real.
No.
Like our own people selling our own people.
That's real. I said some. That part is real, yeah, some.
Well, that's what I say is a lie. Our own people, you're going to sell your wife? You're going to sell your own son?
You have to think about, if we're going to talk about history, you have to think about the mindset people had. And they weren't living in modern day times to where you think the way that you're thinking now.
I understand.
You have the same laws and structure, right? So, yeah, people would do that. Yeah, people would sell and things like that.
Well,
that's just the world that they lived in at that given point in time.
Well, I'll tell you this.
You know what I mean?
When you go into those times, they were more nation founded than we know of today in this modern day time.
And where do you get that from other than the Bible?
You get that from all historical books.
Okay, so then why didn't you understand what I'm saying about
Watch.
Yes, they will do that.
Watch, because when you go into historical books, right, in world history, not just his story, right, world history, artifacts and things of that nature, nations only dealt with themselves. So that's why it would not make sense that they would sell themselves. But what we've been told is all dark races are the same. And that's another lie. All dark races are not the same. We understand from them times that we are different nations, although we're all dark skinned. You see what I'm saying? So it was actually another nation selling another nation. And yes, that's also documented in the Bible. But it's also called not the transatlantic slave trade, but the sub-Saharan slave trade. You see that? Not all the Africans are Israelites from the beginning. And do you know, we've been over there as a body of people, right? So our leaders and different men in our congregation has been over there and taught in Sierra Leone and taught in Ghana and taught these places.
Yeah, I get it. That's all fine.
No. But listen, the reason why I say that is when they were over there, people, because we brought them the same word, right? And there's students, even from the young to the old out there, they say, you know what? I know this guy. We grew up next to each other. We went to the same school together, but I know that we're different. Our skin is the same color, but I know we're different. We are two different people. We have different rhythms. Their dialects sound the same because they grew up together next to each other. And these are the people, the natives out there, right? The locals out there is telling us this.
Right.
Like, what you guys are saying is true, right? They have the different tribes, right? The Philosophian tribes and what's the one? The Igbo tribes, right? So they have and they know we are different from them, although we've raised together. You see that?
Yeah.
And that's the thing, that's the point. So the only reason I even brought that up in the first place about slavery is if we know that there was any type of slavery, right? When those slaves came off the boat and the Europeans, the Spaniards, the Dutchmen who had those slaves, when they came off the boats, at first thought, you would just say, oh, they just did that because that's what they were doing. And what I mean by did that is gave them swine's flesh, had them believe in a different God of their own, and told them Sabbath was the trading day, basically. The slaves was being sold on Sabbath days. You understand? Then you have to say, why was it that, how come they didn't give us deer meat? How come they didn't give us cow? Cow today is mass produced. How come they gave us the pig? It's unlawful. It's a trap. They've known since ancient times, if we make sure that these Israelites don't keep the laws of God, their God will not fight for them. They've known that since ancient times. Since the Persians was in rulership. And even before that, they understood that.
The Israelites? Or
the other nations.
Other nations.
If we make sure that the Israelites do not keep the laws of God, their God will not fight for them. They understood it. Now, I know you probably haven't read the Apocrypha, but it's a part of the original 1611. He's probably sitting there in Judith right now, pulling up the scripture that says that. You understand?
My thing is, so do you feel like your God is fighting for you right now, as a black man now?
As a black man, what I feel like is my black God is going to save me out of this hellhole. So now when you talk about the red herring, right, where that comes from is this. This is in Genesis chapter 25. So now in Genesis 25, remember the lineage of Shem. Now we're all the way down to Abraham. Abraham had a son, Isaac, where the blessings went to from the Lord. Isaac had 2 kids. This is the account of it. Start at 23.
Genesis chapter 25, verse 23. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb.
Start at 22. Why she went to go ask us for proof.
Genesis chapter 25, verse 22. And the children struggled together
21, sorry.
Genesis chapter 25, verse 21. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife, because she was barren. Read. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb.
So when she went to go to the priest to figure out, that's her going to the Lord, going to a priest, right? She was told there's 2 different nations in your womb. They're not the same people. It's 2 different nations in your womb. Read.
And 2 manner of people shall be saved.
And these 2 different nations that are in your womb, they're 2 different manner of people. They're not the same. They're 2 different manner of people. Read.
Shall be separated from thy bowels.
And they're going to be separated when you give birth. Read.
And the one people shall be stronger than the other people.
Notice what it says, one people, not just the person, because she only had 2 kids, but he's calling them a nation right off the rip while they're in the stomach. One people will be stronger than the other people.
And the elder shall serve the younger.
And the elder son, which is a nation of people, will serve the younger son, which is a nation of people. Read.
And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over.
You see that? The first came out red all over.
Like an hairy garment.
And they called his name what?
And they called his name Esau.
And they called his name Esau. Esau is a word that means wasted away. But they named him Esau. So you gotta imagine. So read on actually.
Verse 26. And after that came his brother out. And his hand took hold on Esau's heel. And his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them.
All right. So the first came out, the second came out. His hand took hold of Esau's heel. So they came out back to back, right? But the second, when it came out, they didn't even, the Bible doesn't even mention what color he was. So you have to imagine, if everybody was the same color and then one came out a totally different color, that was a big deal. It was like, this baby looks different. You know what I'm saying? That was a big deal. That's where that came from. The whole red. Because as a natural black man that walk into society, you're not safe. Let me show you what makes me feel.
13, verse 1.
Start at 3.
The book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 3.
No, yeah, go ahead, start at 1. Yeah, start at 1, that's fine.
The book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 1. Let every soul be subject unto the higher power.
So the first thing that we're told here, this is Paul teaching, right? The Israelites in Rome. Let every soul be subject to the higher power. What he's telling them is be subject to the authoritators or the authoritators of Rome. Read.
For there is no power but of God.
Because there's no power of God. Meaning if they got some power, God's the one who's giving them the power for right now. Read.
The powers that be are ordained of God.
So that's what we have to understand. The powers that be, even today, are ordained by God.
Right.
Read.
Whosoever therefore resisteth the power, resisteth the ordinance of God.
So when we resist the powers that be, we're resisting the ordinance of God,
Right.
the order of God. But watch, read.
And they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation.
Read.
For rulers are not a terror to good works.
You see that? But the rulers are not a terror to good works.
Yeah.
Now, when I was in all manner of evil, before I actually repented and changed my ways, it came out of Christianity and actually came into this Bible and started living in truth. Right? When I was living in all sorts of evil, I was living over my shoulder. If a light came on, I'm spinning.
Right.
But now, I'm in good works. Now I keep the laws, the statutes, the commandments. Read that part again.
For rulers are not a terror to good works,
So the rulers are not a terror to good works.
Right.
Read.
but to the evil.
But only to the evil.
Right. But what I'm saying is you're telling me that, but only God knows your walk. So I'm saying, do you really feel safe walking out there as a black man? You know what I mean? Because if you're not, then, you know what I mean, then yes, we are all, you and I, all of us are just like those people out there. Because we, you know what I'm saying, we could say that, but I'm saying, are you really, do you really feel safe out there? You know
I just told you why.
Okay.
I just told you why. Oh man, you know what? Because you know that's what we here for, to follow the hashtag. That's in the Bible too. You said stop making fun of them, right? And you know, and that really make people mad though. Like, let's say you crack a joke on somebody and everybody start laughing, right? That person go do something crazy because he tired of getting laughed at.
I'm sorry, man.
I'm about to snap. Hey, look, because we be actually messing with each other about that. 'Cause, you know, we be cracking jokes on each other, laughing at each other. Especially if one person come in the room and then as soon as that person come in the room, you start cracking on them and everybody in the room start laughing.
Rock, the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter
Hey, look, this is what you can tell them. This is what you can tell them right here. Look what the Bible says. Go there.
Sirach, or the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 7, verse 11. Laugh no man to scorn in the bitterness of his soul.
Say, hey man, don't be laughing me to scorn, man. Don't be quit laughing me to scorn, man. I'm gonna stop messing with that. And this is another one we be always throwing at each other. Cause you know, regular conversation, like we don't even really necessarily trip on it. You know how you guys, you know, you just talking regular conversation, right? You say something, you think somebody else, you think whatever he's saying, you kind of know what he's saying. Yeah. So you kind of naturally cut him off and just, you know, talk. Right. He accepts it because ain't nobody tripping off of it, right? And then, you know, he respond whatever. Look what the Bible said. We be always messing with each other about this too. Like, hey, bro, quit doing this. Look what it says. Go there. 11 and 7. So
the book of Sirach, chapter 11, verse 7.
7 and 8, yeah.
Blame not before thou hast examined the truth. Understand first and then rebuke.
Hey, because we know what they about to say, so we be like, hey man, nah, that ain't right. Like, bro, you didn't even finish. You didn't even hear me out. That's not what I was about to say. Like, I know what you about to say. Right? So the Bible said, don't do that, then read on.
Answer not before thou hast heard the cause, neither interrupt men in the midst of their talk.
And then it says, neither interrupt men in the midst of their talk. So we be talking and, you know, somebody else trying to get the word in. Like, hey, man, quit interrupting me in the midst of my talk, man. Come on, man. Hey, all this stuff be in the Bible, bro. We be like, what? Never knew. I remember when we first figured that out, it was a couple of us back then. It was like 2015. When we first figured it out, boy, we was wearing that thing out. We got tired. You know how when you find a joke, you just use it all the time? Hey, man.
Yeah, I just want to get
Interrupt
the
me,
vision
man.
on his head.
Middle of speech, brother. Middle of speech. Oh, man.
Because you're in faith of God, or this church and that church. Ephesians, the chapter you read every morning, tells you there's only one God, there's one faith. Faith and belief is the same thing.
Right.
So there's one belief. So if you believe, if you have faith in this Bible, you have to go back to see the Sabbath day. 6 days you work, on the seventh you're supposed to rest.
Right.
That's one understanding throughout. It don't matter what Bible you got.
Right, so it says one God, so why are we like contesting and worried about what everybody is practicing if we're serving, you know what I'm saying, if we believing in God, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because that's, you gotta understand. When you get down to the nations, the rest of these nations, who they serve are idols. Who he's bringing up. The Indian, the so-called Indian man. He worships an idol, a deity. You know what I'm saying? With multiple arms or whatever. Who's another? What's another nationality? The Moab. Buddha. You know what I'm saying? They serve Buddha.
Right.
But all of these things were divided for them to serve. We're supposed to serve the one true Father, the Most High God, of heaven and earth. That's who we follow. That's who everybody's supposed to follow.
Right.
But the rest of these idols, all the rest of these other idols that we gravitate to, like the copper stone for our Muslim brothers and sisters. You know, when you look at Deuteronomy 28 and 64, I challenge you to read that chapter, Deuteronomy 28.
Right.
It lays out curses that will happen, that will befall on the people.
Yeah.
And one of the curses was, in these last days, you was going to serve wood and stone.
I'm gonna write it down.
Okay. Like one of the curses, if you can get that for me, 2864. One of the curses was that we was going to serve wood and stone. So you got the copper stone, and you got the wood going into Christianity. What we talking about? What the officer talking about?
Grab my Bible so we can read.
So watch this. When you read it, just listen to this is one of the curses that's going to be on people. Watch this, go ahead.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter them among all people.
Now you got to stop right there. Just think about it. Because he said, what if we didn't know that the Israelites were Israelites, right? This is Moses talking to a group of people. And he's telling them that guess what? You're going to be scattered throughout the whole earth. Now I ask you, because you sound like a story. You said you read the books, right?
Okay.
Who was scattered to the four corners of the earth? What people?
What people? It was black people.
Black people, right? Okay. So you stay with that understanding. Now listen to what the scripture says. Read it again.
And the Lord shall scatter them among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other.
So this is Moses talking to a people saying, look, this is what's going to befall you if you celebrate these Christmases, 4th of July, whatever you celebrate. These other idols, these other gods, this is what's going to happen. Now watch this, read.
And there thou shalt serve other gods.
And there you're going to serve other gods. So when you're saying, why are we having a discrepancy of these other gods?
Yeah.
Moses was telling us in the wilderness, and guess what? There's other gods out here.
Yeah.
And if we don't keep our mind focused on the Most High God,
Right.
I'm going to scatter you to the four corners of the earth.
Right.
And there you're going to serve other deities, other gods.
When you saying people, what people?
What people?
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. And the officer,
That's
other
what I'm saying.
officer.
What people are you talking about? You saying what people?
Huh?
1-1.
Read. Get 1-1. Because the Bible, it explains itself. Remember, it said one faith, one God.
Right. That's what I'm saying. One God, but then it said, so what people?
Watch. Go show you.
Okay.
Go show you. Watch this.
Sorry about that.
No, you good, bro. Oh, hey, this is what we like doing. You know what I'm saying? We ain't no. We normal people. We people just like you. You know what I'm saying? Watch this. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel,
So Moses was speaking to the Israelites.
which neither thou nor thy fathers have known.
He said, which our forefathers had not known. So even when our original homeland is Jerusalem, we fled through Jerusalem and landed and ended up on the west coast of Africa. And some of us, was keeping the customs of not what you know today as Christianity, because to be a Christian means you're following Christ, you're anointed. You understand? But Christianity, they don't follow Christ. They're not anointed. Because if you celebrate Christmas, if you celebrate Thanksgiving, the 4th of July, New Year's, birthdays, that's not of Christ. Christ, when he walked this earth, he said, I left you an example. I left you an example to set. So you gotta read your Bible and see, well, what did Christ celebrate? He celebrated the Feast of Dedication. Have you celebrated that? Mm-hmm. The Feast of Tabernacles, Passover. You know what I'm saying? So if you are true following that one faith and that one God, you're going to be celebrating His high holy day. You're going to be patterning yourself. All of us should be patterning ourselves after Christ.
Yeah, we should be.
But the world is not. Because why? The curse has told us you're going to be serving other gods if you don't keep my commandments. Mm-hmm. Just a simple Sabbath day. We opening up a stores. Just think about it. Society, only be long with it, officer.
No, you good.
But just think about it. Society, this man that has oppressed us and set up this society, his main day of shopping is what day?
Main day of shopping?
His main day of consumer. To be a consumer is what day? Buying and selling.
It has to be a Friday.
A Friday when? Friday when you get off of work. Because you at work, you get off at 5 o'clock, right? Going into the Saturday, right? That's his main day. But when you look in the scriptures, it tell you Sabbath starts on Friday night and ends on Saturday night. So he set his main day of buying and selling to break the laws of God. And he's teaching you that the laws of God is doing away with. You know what I'm saying? That's what he teaches us. That the laws of God, they done away with. So now we open it up. And we don't even know. So in our subconscious mind, we're breaking the Lord's Sabbath. We ain't even thinking about it. Because we want to make money.
And so I want to bring it full circle. I want to bring it full circle for you because and that all praise to the Most High, that's a great answer to why, right? And I'm gonna help you out with the full memory. So I started with we got to realize this book is talking to the Israelites. This book is written by the Israelites. Therefore, this book is for the Israelites, right? Then we started speaking more about other things that has happened, right? Just as a people. Going with, let's say we didn't know who the Israelites were today, right? So as people, different nations, what has happened between them and how other nations serve gods that look like them. Well, remember, if this is to the Israelites, written by the Israelites, for the Israelites, and today we're the only people, blacks, natives, and Latinos, that can't trace their history past slavery, right, or past colonialism. Everyone else could trace their history back. We're the only ones who serve a God that don't look like us. Well, if we do believe in this Bible, when we go into here, we find out, oh, this is our history. Man, what you guys do here, you guys got the beauty salon, the hair.
Yeah, it's Omar Beauty Bar. I'm Omar. I also work with Sharika Swearington. She does pretty much everything from haircuts, hairstyles, for men, women, children, colors, bridals, you name it. 7 days a week, we're here out in Key Island.
The scriptures say, where there is no vision, the people perish.
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV.
Do you know your history?
I'm going to show you and prove to you that the Israelites are black, were always black.
Dance for time, just move up your body. Don't get loose and groove on the body. Bruise, wine. Put on the armor, the procedure complete. Me nah go back, nah retreat. All traitors, every Jezebel must get delete. Me no
no sleep on a demon, me keep a full clip. Conspire me downfall, cause them want to me slip. Stay close to the real ones, we seal off and legit. Cause I gotta use them to keep your soul from the pit. This a war life, I swear the damn thing.